What's up, everybody? You are listening to the 10 After 7 podcast with your host, Michael Cody Stephenson. I'm coming live on YouTube. You know why? Because it's quarantine and I'm trying new things. First things first, my voice just cracked. First things first, I'm drinking a beer. Got to get the YouTube jitters out. We're drinking Lost Coast Great White, one of my favorite beers. Why? Because you could have 1, 3, 5, 6. Doesn't matter. All feels the same. If you're watching on YouTube, behind me, I've got beautiful Dodger Stadium. Greatest place on earth. Don't even try to debate it. We also got a Stephenson hand-me-down. My dad's Duke Blue Devil sweatshirt. Mom always wore it. It's got to be up there. And if you're going to question what I'm wearing, it's a collared shirt, $80, Nordstrom Rack. I've only gotten to wear it once in the last 3 months, so the hell with it. We're wearing it right frickin' now. If you're not familiar with the 10 After 7 podcast, the name comes from, of course, Dodger Stadium. Dodger games on the West Coast during the regular season on weeknights start at 7:10 to be exact. They even have it down to a T. Kershaw even cussed out a Colorado Rockies pitcher for making it a 7:11 start because he walked his lazy ass across the field when it was 7:10. So don't f with the name. This is a sports podcast, but what do you do when sports gets taken away? Zero. No sports whatsoever. The last sport standing, I believe, was the Australian Football League. Everyone was stoked about it. I had a couple friends, degenerate friends at that, post bets, and they even canceled that at halftime a few weeks ago. So where do we go? I've hit different stages of quarantine. I hit the TikTok stage. That was wild. Brief stint there. I watched a lot of old games from the 1980s, 2000s, 1990s. Then I just cut myself off. I said, cold turkey. Can't do it anymore. Got to get away from sports. Still on the Netflix thing. There is sports news trickling out. I mean, I got my notes right here. First thing I have written down, broke news late last night. By the way, it's April 7th when I'm recording this. Major League Baseball thinks somehow, some way, they're going to be the first to get the ball rolling. And they think May is an appropriate time to start. If you actually read Jeff Passan's article on ESPN, it's a stretch. They plan on putting all 30 teams in the Phoenix area. They do spring training out there, so it's close proximity, all of them. There's no problem there. Then they're going to have all personnel, players, managers, training staff, isolate themselves in hotels for what they think is going to be 4.5 months of a baseball season. These guys got to isolate themselves to the point where they wouldn't even use dugouts at these stadiums. No. It's hilarious. They're going to use the empty stands and sit 6 feet apart. Social distancing. They think electronic strike zones are going to come into play because they don't want the umpire too close to the catcher and batter. No mound visits from the catcher or pitching coach. 7-inning doubleheaders. I don't know what on earth Rob Manfred's thinking. But it's got to be him that's trying to push this thing. Why? Because a couple months ago, he was the most hated man on earth. And now he's trying to puff out his chest and being the first commissioner to get sports rolling again. And you know what, Rob Manfred? Sit down. It's not your job. If we're going to put any trust in any of these commissioners, it's going to be Adam Silver in the NBA. He's not even touching on the subject of getting basketball back until May. You know why? Because no one has answers. I don't know why baseball put the information out there last night. I really think it's Rob Manfred's ego saying, I'm going to be the first guy to do it because my balls are small. I botched the whole Houston Astros cheating thing. I was hated a couple months ago, but you know what? I'm going to be loved when I bring sports back. Not happening. This idea is so far-fetched. creating an Olympic Village in Phoenix to have baseball try to get as close as possible to 162 games. No dugouts. I mean, it can't happen, and it won't happen. I know that for a fact. Baseball's not starting in May. I know I'm pessimistic about the whole thing, but I think baseball, I think they're the one sport where you could say they're the closest to being canceled. They have too many games, and they're going to hit a point where they can't even get 100 games in. It's going to drop to 80, and then at some point they're going to say, okay, we're not going to play 50 games and actually have this be a credible season. And as a Dodger fan, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want the Dodgers to win a World Series when the season's a 60-game season. Zero credibility there, especially when you're playing 7-inning doubleheaders, not even a full Major League Baseball game. That's a high school game, 7 innings. Rob Manfred, take a fucking seat. More news today in sports. Not even news, really. If the Buccaneers change their uniform any other year in the history of their franchise, it would not even be a blip on anyone's radar. But Tom Brady is now, I was about to say New England Buccaneers. He's now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and God forbid he wear those shitty uniforms last year. So the Buccaneers say, hey, we got to clean it up. We got to get rid of these uniforms that look like we're playing in a movie that doesn't have the rights to the NFL. And we got to go back to what we were doing in 2004 when we were in the Super Bowl. Don't say that's correct, or don't correct me on that. It was not 2004, but I do remember that Super Bowl. They beat the shit out of the Oakland Raiders. Their uniforms are good, and they're only good because they were so shitty last year. So that's what we're working with. Sports podcast, and we have MLB trying to get back, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers changing their uniforms. Holy hell, how are we going to fill time on this podcast? Well, I have on my notes right here. What was my lowest point of quarantine? It's either TikTok or watching NBA players play against each other in 2K. TikTok was fun. I realized, one, I can't dance. My range on TikTok was limited to left foot or right foot. And I even botched that the other day when I tried the new Drake dance. Watching players play video games. I'm on record saying when you're at a friend's house and you got two buddies playing video games and you're the odd man out watching, there's nothing more boring on earth. I can think of 100,000 things I'd rather do. I'd rather bake a cake. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing there. I'd rather run 10 miles. Take me 10 hours to do that. Anything rather than watching two people play video games is okay with me. Why did I watch it on ESPN? It was the only thing on. And let's get some personalities on there. Kevin Durant and Derek Jones Jr. played each other and probably had a total of 5 words spoken throughout a 4-quarter video game. At least let these guys get drunk, smoke a little weed. They probably were high, and that's why they weren't talking. But take something. Let these guys take mushrooms, for God's sakes, if they're not going to say shit on the audio. So lowest point, it's got to be watching people play video games. I can never get behind that. TikTok, it's dominated by 15-year-olds. It's very addicting. If there were more to do that didn't involve dancing, I'm there, but I'm limited. My athletic ability is shot after watching those videos. My highest point of quarantine, I don't know if there's a highest point. I did do a virtual workout. A lot of people are doing those these days. The Dodgers have their head trainer, Brandon McDaniel, doing those every Monday and Friday. I got up for the first one, and it was an accomplishment. Got me fired up early in the morning. After that, I ran 2 miles. Come Monday for the next one, couldn't wake up. We'll get back to it, though. It's probably the highest point of quarantine. Social media during quarantine. Social media, there's good and bad. Every time I sign on Twitter, I see something about coronavirus that I don't want to see, so that's bad. And now you could always count on the memes to come out. So the meme that's taken everybody by storm right now is, who would you want to quarantine with? And they have groups of 1, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Jennifer Aniston, just 5 random people, and you're supposed to pick who you want to quarantine with. So I guess I'm going to come up with my ultimate quarantine party right now. I think a comedian's a must. You got to have someone funny there. So I'm going to put Dave Chappelle down. I saw him on one of those. Musician's got to be there. Someone's got to have some tunes that you can just go out and chill out with. Also, Dave Chappelle, probably one of the top 3 people you ever want to smoke weed with. So that's a plus there. I'm going to take John Mayer for my musician. Athlete, people were jumping on the LeBron one real fast. I'm not sure LeBron would be fun. A couple things I've done during quarantine is watch his live Instagram videos. The dad jokes just are getting ridiculous. Also, big no-no. LeBron's dog, he's got a little French bulldog. Forgot the name of him, but he had eye boogers. And LeBron got a napkin to wipe them off. A napkin. Anyone who loves dogs is taking your thumb right here and wiping those eye boogers off. Biggest germaphobe ever. That's disrespectful to use a napkin to wipe your dog's eye boogers off. 1, you don't like your dog. 2, you actually just hate dogs if you're doing that. So no, I'm not going to pick LeBron as my athlete. I'm probably going with ex-athlete, current athlete or ex-athlete. I think I'm going to go Charles Barkley. So right now I got 3, Charles Barkley, Dave Chappelle, and John Mayer I'm quarantining with. I got to have an actress in there. This is a toughie. You want someone to look at who's just a dime piece. I don't know. I thought about Natalie Portman because that's one of the movies I watched during quarantine, Black Swan. Kind of epic. I'm going to go, my actress, I'm going to go Jennifer Aniston. Childhood crush, absolute babe still. She's pushing, I don't even know how old she is at this point, but it doesn't matter. Still gorgeous. So I need one more. I feel like I could go any route right now. Musician, actor, comedian. I'll go actor, male actor, and I'm going to go let's go with Chris Pratt. Seems like a hell of a time. Also, best movie I watched during quarantine. Shout out 4 different people who told me to watch it. Onward by Pixar. One of the best Pixar movies you're going to see. And also, please tell me, has Pixar ever made a bad fucking movie? I don't think so. And Onward at the top of that list. Ending, tearjerker, phenomenal. Watch it, please. And Netflix shows, I know a lot's been said about Tiger King. Got through 5 episodes. Felt like I already heard enough about it, so I gave up there. My guilty pleasure, All American. People tried to compare it to Friday Night Lights. It's nowhere close. And the fact that they even try to call the quarterback a QB1 at Beverly Hills, and he's taking pictures on his off time at restaurants with people, like Beverly Hills is doing that after a championship when they meet South Crenshaw. This isn't Texas. Football's not that big in Beverly Hills, high school football. No shot. And also, on these shows, let's get a couple people that know the game of football. My biggest pet peeve is on these TV shows, when sports are involved, automatically they're winning on the last second play and they're breaking 4 tackles to get to the end zone. Let's be realistic here. Let's see Beverly Hills get their shit kicked in, or South Crenshaw get their shit kicked in and not win every damn game and meet each other in the finals. I don't even think those 2 teams could even meet each other in the finals. I don't even think it's possible. They're in 2 different divisions. I think one's a city section team. The other's, who the hell knows? All I know is that it was a stretch to put those teams in the finals against each other, and they somehow won every game on a Hail Mary with 2 seconds left. Nowhere near Friday Night Lights. Comparable to 90210, the newest one that was a couple years ago. Watch that. So, yeah. Not much to talk about on this 10 after 7 podcast, but you know what? We're on YouTube. We're live. I don't know how often I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it, and we're going to see how it goes. Thank you for tuning in. I'll let you know when the next one is. Give it a listen. Give it a like. Comment what you do like, don't like. If you talk about my shirt, I'll slap you across the face. But you can follow me on Twitter at 10after7 or on Instagram at 10_after7. Thank you very much. I'm out. Woo! Go Dodgers.